Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the qualifying round win here for the Eagle Peak and the Grizzly tournament in Golf Clash the game. Before we take a closer look at the shots, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Get ultimate tournament guides for Expert or for Pro or for Master by going to patreon.com/golfclashatomy. You can also get our exclusive tour text guides, which is perfect now when the tours has changed and you will definitely need an extra little help there with our guides. Link is directly in the description down below, or you scan the QR code here on the screen. In the video you will see shots from Brandon Burke and Ben Kennedy, which is our main shot creators for our expert guide, and you can find the links to their channels in the description down below. Please go over and subscribe and support their work. Info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For the drive on hole number 1, we are going to play with our rock, and for the rock 9 we're gonna start at the top of +0, which is just before +1 obviously. White ring to the right by the rough line, and once we have found that, we're gonna apply 1.5 bar topspin and 1.5 bar of right spin. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, power 3 ball settings. The goal here is to get the ball to stop just before the 2 big bunkers, so we have a nice view towards the pin on the second shot. So it's a very consistent drive, and then obviously the second shot we are going to play into the massive funnel that is on the back of the green. You don't have to play with a Kingmaker if you don't want to. It's a tailwind. I would recommend to do as a minimum a power 1 ball at least. So we're getting it consistently down to be around 330 to 335 yards. Looking then at the second shot, we're gonna play with our sniper level 9+ because we do want to have 6 backspin. If you happen to have a lower level sniper, we do recommend to play with the Guardian. The problem with the Guardian is that you do not have a good ball guideline, and then you have a risk of being off with your landing spot and therefore miss your shot. So we're using the 6 backspin, moving up to have the top of the yellow ring to be just by the fringe line, with the ball guideline falling down into the hole. Adjustment is going to be based on yardage, and so we do have our base, which is 331 yards, and that is 64% slider with a 10% elevation P3 numbers. Center the ball and hit perfect, and then you will see yourself having an extremely good chance with getting an eagle. I would also have to say that you can hit a great ball here and still have a good chance for a drop, which is the beauty with playing into a funnel, because a funnel means that we do have a spot that is very forgiving, and that's something that is very fun to play with because it doesn't really it doesn't destroy around just because you hit a bad shot. Hole number 2, we're gonna play into one of the bigger funnels in the game. This wind is difficult, and the reason this wind is difficult is because first and foremost it's a headwind, and second of all it's a wind that the tree will cover our view, and we're gonna have to push the rings, which is never something that is fun. 1 topspin, and we're gonna use the right side of the yellow ring by the rough line at the top of +2. Now, maximum distance with a 25% elevation, P3 numbers, and here we are going to make sure that we are pushing straight, and I'm absolutely terrible at that. I very often push not in a straight line, so that's the reason why I'm adding 2 clicks of overpower here, because I felt I did not pull straight and needed to compensate by doing a little bit of overpower. Because if you are not pulling straight, and if you pull yourself further back or closer towards the tee, there is a risk that you do get dead bounces, and then the hole-in-one obviously is gone. But if we do have that rollout as we're looking for, I would say this is probably one of the yeah, best chances you do have on all the 9 holes to get a drop. Hole number 3, it's a tough wind here, and you can play this hole in many different ways, in my opinion. I wanted to show a little bit more aggressive one where you play with a special ball here, the Ryder Cup ball to be more exact. That is a power 5 side spin 2 wind 4 ball. Starting at the top of plus 10, and we are using 7 top spin and 1 right spin. Adjustment is max plus 10 power 3. If you do adjust into overpower, then you will have to apply whatever overpower you adjust into, which is not going to happen with this type of ball and Apocalypse level 6 plus, but it could happen with an Extra Mile level 9, it could happen with a Thor's Hammer, and it could also happen if you decide to play with a Wind 3 ball such as a Luminary. Instead, it's not going to be much overpower, but at least it's important to have in mind. We're looking to get to around 370 yards. The rollout could be different, obviously, depending on what type of glitch roll you're getting on that fairway. Second shot, we're gonna play in this instance with the sniper. I'm kind of torn between should I play with the sniper here or should I go with a guardian backspin shot. In the video, I'm going obviously with the sniper, trying to do a rollback by using the little sticky spot that is on the back. But the problem we have here is to find the correct landing spot. So I would recommend to try to find a consistent spot with your bullseye to start with, and then apply all the backspin and then the left spin to get the ball guideline as we want. Because my problem here and my mistake here is that I'm starting too much right. Looking at, for those of you that do have our guide, looking at the guide, we should be positioned at least 1.5 to 2 rings more left than what I am here, and that's what the reason as well why I'm missing on the right hand side with this shot. We're playing based on yardage as it is a linear hole, and I'm playing this one 22% slider as a base with 10% elevation P3 numbers from 372 yards. Tough one with this wind once again, but to be able to get a chance you kind of need to set it up properly, which I didn't do here on this video. Hole number 4 here, we are going to play an aggressive line. We're going to go for a rough bump. 3 left spin, half a bar of top spin, and now there's 2 things we need to focus on here, and that is to have the ball guideline to be just at the hole. And then we're gonna look at the yellow rings position as well. We want to have as much rough as gap to the left as for the right. It's very easy to start too high up, and that's very important that you're paying close attention to that. Small 1159 on your pull. Having any 1201 will risk missing the rough, so will a great right as well. For those that do have the new precision, the Win 5 P0, then you can use that ball. It will ensure a perfect ball in a bigger extent and will not bring as much risk to the table. However, though, you need to waste one of the better par 3 balls in the game, and I'm not sure you want to do that, but that's up to you. Because you need to hit a great left or a perfect to be safe, otherwise expect to miss the rough and bounce over. But if you do hit a perfect ball, you do have a very good chance for a drop, in my opinion. Didn't do any tweak in this angle, and we're using, once again, 3 left spin, half a bar of top spin, medium distance, plus 10% elevation, P3 numbers. Hole number 5, we're gonna play around the trees, but on the right side, not on the left. So we're gonna start at the top of plus 24 with Apocalypse 5 plus, at max with Apocalypse level 4, or top of plus 30 with Apocalypse level 4 to be more exact. 5.8 top spin, 2 left spin. Adjustment is max, no elevation, power 5 ball settings. Once adjustment is done, we shall apply max overpower with a slower needle, combined with the 2.25 ball of curl left. For those having a grid line or a center line, you use the center line to be just by the edge of the triangle that is left of the ring. Try to hit perfect. I would say a great right and a great left is still having a good chance to get down. I would say, I mean, looking at the amount of rough to cover, a great left would be better than a great right, but I'm not complaining about this wrestle at all being just by the fringe on the green. And you can play with a power 5 win 0 ball as well. That would give you a little bit slower needle, and that's something to definitely consider, especially if you do struggle hitting perfect or just struggling hitting single grades with a slightly slower needle like this. But I'm happy taking my eagle on hole number 5. Hole number 6, and here we're not going to do a double bounce over to the fairway. We're going to play down the right hand side, starting at the top of +10, using the white ring to the right by the rough line, 3 top spin, 3 right spin, and we're gonna make an adjustment of maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, power 3 ball settings. Once we have done that, we shall apply 2 balls of right curl with 1 ring of overpower. The goal for us is to get enough distance so we can reach for a rough bump on the second shot. This is a more or less a risk-free drive, which is a nice way of playing this hole. A double bounce is always going to involve some risk in terms of will you clip the rough or will you not clip the rough, and that's definitely going to create inconsistencies. We are getting this ball up to 357, which is a little bit too long. I might have a little bit too much overpower there, because we do not want to go too long, because then we will be outside landing position plus yardage, which I am unfortunately here in this video. However though, we can still use this one in a positive way by using the 3 left spin, and obviously using the 6 top spin as we call for in the guide, using the cataclysm to ensure that we do have all the power necessary. If, however, if you do not have a cataclysm level 7 or level 8, then you will have to focus purely on the second bounce on the fairway, because it's going to be very easy for you, if playing with a lower level cataclysm or a big dog for that matter, to be off your landing spot, because the ball guideline is not going to be helpful. But cataclysm level 7 or level 8 will give you that possibility to work with the ball guideline. However though, if you do want to play with the sniper, you can do so as well. The adjustment on the second shot might be slightly different, and we would recommend to play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball to ensure that you're always having distance, because you do have a slight headwind on the second shot. Getting it in the hole, and I'm using a landing position adjustment that is minus 10% elevation, P3 numbers. Hole number 7 is, in my opinion, a very good chance for a hole-in-one. The only difficult part though is when you're going to push or pull the rings, and you're gonna notice that in just a bit. So what I'm looking for here now is that to have the blue ring just to be by the fringe, and to be with my ball guideline just left of where the ball guideline being cut away by the tree, or clipped away by the tree, which is a very easy spot to find. Now you can see here in this angle, we are definitely having that big tree in our face, and then you either have to push or you're gonna have to zoom out, so you do have a free view of making your adjustment. There will be times where the tree will not be in your face, and then you can zoom in properly. But that's obviously the toughest part, and the toughest part to give you a very consistent way of dropping the hole-in-one. But if doing it correctly, and you hit perfect with the outside wall right curl, the ball comes in a very nice funnel on the back of the green and drops lovely for an hole-in-one. Max plus a 25% elevation, P2 numbers is what we're using as adjustment. Hole number 8, here we're going to play a classic way, which is through the trees with our big hopper. This has been a unsuccessful way of playing every single tournament that we have had this type of wind, and it's successful now as well. There is room for great balls, even though the trees there looks very scary. The key here is to turn the screen on the side to look at the second bounce, to be halfway down the final rough patch. So that's why I'm double checking, triple checking to make sure that is correct. Max top spin, 1 left spin, and we're using medium distance with a 5% elevation power 3 ball settings. Here you don't have to play with a power 3 ball, you can play with a power 2 or even a power 1 ball. However though, for those playing with the lowest level of big topper, it might be better to just stick with a power 3 ball to ensure that you do have the power necessary. Bouncing on the fairway into the rough and then roll out to be either on the green or to be on the fringe like that for a simple and very safe eagle. I understand that there is a possibility to play around the trees on the right, and we do have a shot like that as well. However, we do need to have at least 3.8 backspin, which is not possible for all of the club levels at least. So for those with lower level clubs, focus on this one. For those that do have our guides and want to go around the trees and feel more comfortable with that, then you play our other option, which looks, not looks, but which is brilliant as well. On the drive on hole number 9, we're starting at complete max distance with quarterback 9 or 10. 3 left spin and 1 top spin, half of the red ring inside the rough. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And once we have adjusted, we shall apply outside wall left curl. Perfect ball it is, and we're looking to get somewhere around 322 to 325 yards. We do want to have that roll out, to roll just past the shadow. If you do want to, you can play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball. What that will do is to ensure that you on the second shot always have the plus yardage, so you're not going to have to struggle with a shorter drive. And now I actually recommend that because we never know if we're going to have a short drive, or let's say like this, we never know if we're going to mess up the drive. Then it would be better to just make sure that you do have all the distance possible with either a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball. Because you can see here now on the second shot that we are close to the max line with sniper 10. And sniper 9 here would be more or less at the max line when we're setting this one up. So the trick here now for this one is to use the top of the yellow ring to be just by the edge of the shadow. And then we're going to use 3.5 top spin, and we're going to use whatever left spin that gets the ball guideline to go 1 green square left of the pin. Adjustment is going to be minus 20% elevation. And we're going to use plus 9 as a base for sniper 10, which is 92% slider with that. The goal here now is to go get the ball guideline to go as close to the pin on the left hand side, because the more left we're coming, the more risk we have to miss on the right hand side. And I don't know if you were focused on my pull angle, but I did play with a pretty decent 1159, which is the reason why I'm missing just on the right hand side, because my ball come way too far on the left hand side and will so miss. So if you do everything correct, this is a really good chance. Unfortunately, this is the best replay I do have after many replays being messed up by the replay glitches in this game. But very good chance here on the second shot on hole number 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division with the qualifying round win here for the Grizzly tournament and the Eagle Peak. Make sure to get our world-class expert guides, and also for Pro and Master if you would like that, by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code here on the screen and you will go directly there, and you have the link obviously in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and a good luck in your Golf Clash game.